The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. Here are some lessons from the book The Power of Habit that will change everything in your life as it changed my habits thanks to this book, and as a result lead to some drastic changes in my life. Step number 1. Identify the routine. All habits can be broken into 3-step process. The habit loop consists of routine, which is preceded by a cue and followed by a reward. In this lesson, you will learn that habit cannot be triggered unless the cues triggered them. The habit loop. The habit loop is a neurological loop that governs any habit. Habits are triggered by cues, which then lead to a routine and ultimately culminates in a reward. Cues most generally fall under the following categories: a location, a time of day, other people, an emotional state, or an immediately preceding action. For example, every day at 2:30 p.m. someone could crave chocolate from the vending machine in the other building, or the smell from the office house downstairs compels someone to get a latte. As another example, the music from roving ice cream trucks is very powerful cue. The cue tells the brain to go into automatic process mode, and it takes effort to resist the cue versus deriving satisfaction from following the cue. The routine. A habit's routine is the most obvious element. It's the behavior you wish to change. For example, smoking a cigarette or biting your nails. Or reinforce, for example, taking the stairs instead of the elevator, or drinking water instead of snacking. The reward. The reward is the reason the brain decides the previous steps are worth remembering for the future. The reward provides positive reinforcement for the desired behavior, making it more likely that you will produce that behavior again in the future. The reward can be anything, from something tangible, for example chocolate, something intangible, for example a half hour of television, to something with no inherent value but what is given. In short, the habit loop. Identify the routine. It's the behavior you wish to change. Experiment with rewards. Experimenting with rewards is the time-consuming part of hacking your habits. Each time you feel the urge to repeat your routine, try changing the routine, the reward, or both. Keep track of your changes and test different theories on what drives your routine. Isolate the cue. Experiments have shown that habitual cues generally fall into one of the 5 aforementioned categories. Write down answers to the following questions to see what patterns emerge when an urge or craving strikes you. Number 1. Where are you? Number 2. What time is it? Number 3. What's your emotional state? Number 4. Who else is around? Number 5. What action immediately preceded the urge? Have a plan. When Duhigg finished his study of his chocolate cookie habit, he discovered that this cue was the time of roughly 3:30 p.m. His routine was to go to the cafeteria, buy a cookie, and chat with friends. The reward, he discovered, was not the cookie itself, but the opportunity to socialize. Thus he created this plan for working around his habit. At 3:30 every day, I will walk to a friend's desk and talk for 10 minutes. He then set an alarm on his watch for 3:30 p.m. While implementing the plan had its hiccups, after a few weeks of paying careful attention to his new routine, he now does it unconsciously as a habit, just one that's better for him.